Colton, I'm disappointed. What? I thought I could do no wrong. At least with you. No, I mean, sometimes it just takes a few seconds and there's... Sorry, that stuff wasn't there the other day. And there's, you know, a few right away. This time there isn't. And I'm like, what? Why not? He's like, yeah, I know, right? Don't they want to hear from me? Oh, I know they will. No, they will. So let's just be patient. Oh, this is completely on the other side. If that's not a sign. A blanket that I sometimes, and one of them got taken off the couch, and I was never really, it was just there. But this one, and it's usually on this side, and it was on this side. So, and I'm going to put this on, and the viewer left. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't think I do. He says, that's not what you were saying earlier about that, you know. Anyway, let me explain, because people will see this afterwards. People will see it. Now, once people are here and they know what's going on, they'll know what's going on. But before then, they won't. It makes no sense, doesn't it? I think so. I actually don't usually have the laptop. Well, no, because I've been sitting here, so there's not usually that much that gets on this particular cushion. I kept meaning to give the dog something because I can tell that he might want to be noisy. I didn't think you finished the one the other day, but and then I forgot to. So just gonna quickly do that. You are fabulous, Colton. Well, thank you. This is pretty cool too. So, who is this Colton? People may ask. And I may tell you. But yeah, it's interesting that this is sitting here. This is sitting here, and that was over there. I'm making the connection. Good, so you know I'm real. So, really want there to be viewers here. He says, we got each other. That's a lot for love. Give it a shot. Oh, halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. My hand will make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer. Living on a prayer. Hello, lovely smiling. How are you? I got you. Oh, you didn't back up. You just didn't come closer. And that's interesting. I'm not going to do this in any particular order because I don't know if I could, to be honest. I could try. I could try to remember the sequence of events, so to speak. And I'm not sure. Sorry, I'm kind of eating as well. But, you know, I actually was fairly hungry this morning, and it's, you know, something that's good to do. So I don't want anybody, especially the people that are most meant to hear this, to miss anything, but maybe they'll be the ones that see it after it's posted. Or they tune in and they go back and watch the rest of it, you know? So it's fine. I was going to try and put this off. We have for a couple of reasons, one being, I don't even know what they were. I think partly because of energy level, partly there was a couple other things I wanted to do first. I don't necessarily have to, though. They are kind of on my mind. But He says there was gems, man. There was gems. So just keep it there. Make it easy on yourself and keep it there. Interesting. And of course, the new stuff is happening at the same time. I'm not going to articulate that, and I'm also not going to make an issue of it. It's fine. Oh, he says you better start saying some stuff though, because like, yeah, man, people who are here afterwards, they might want to know, and they might want to know fast. You know, people are so busy. Um, Curiosity kills ghosts. Which is not funny, but it kind of is how he said that, right? Um, so, trying to decide how important sequential is to this. It's interesting how it unfolded. It really is. Last night, I'd like to put on some background music. I might be playing some music in this, but I'd like to put on some background music for just a moment. And Sunny, why aren't you hearing the thing? Just very light, so that I can hear it, but YouTube will be fine with it. What is that? Fell off your sweater. Okay. Okay. So people, people that have never seen this before, or people that have this hasn't been made before, people who've never seen this, or who have this bit. What am I trying to say? People who've never seen me or my videos before. That's what I'm trying to get at. Will be kind of like, what's this about? What's this about? Hurry up, get to it. I'm sorry. Maybe I should explain a little bit. We actually got to bed in our home at around the same time as usual. There was a bit of stress before that, though. Not much before it. Led to me taking a certain something. And yeah, you know what? She's got her things in the mornings. If it was next week, and maybe later she can watch it, but it's kind of finishing up a busy week. But I'm almost done eating, so I apologize if I'm doing them both, but I felt like I needed to have something. I wouldn't have been able to ignore it. I'm just going to actually put this in the kitchen because I just want to quickly make sure of something. Honey, hey! Oh, yeah. Good thing I did. Even though it was just empty. What's that? Bring it up. Okay. So, so I think I just said, I'm pretty sure I just said that I took something. Now, some people are going, and I can do this whether I do or not. I can do disability, but some people are going to say, "You're talking about such and such." Well, that's why I marked it not for kids. But you know what? We can't shield kids because life doesn't. We can try, but life won't necessarily. I do my best. But I'm also a free spirit, and sometimes I communicate with them. And so hear this out, please. Especially if the name at the top, the team names at the top mean something to you, especially the spellings. Because I wanted to be able to sleep. I was a little stressed. We have these CBD gummies. They were under stuff on the couch. They were found, not because I was looking for them, but I was looking for something else, which I still haven't found, and I feel mixed about it. But I do have this device, um, and how do you know about that? Sorry, he just kind of flashed it, and I mean, well, or do you? I mean, because that's the thing. Like my own mind is going to remember things too from my life. When did you pass away again, JP? Were you there that night? He's like, no, but it wasn't the first time it happened. I wondered if you'd been there one time when it did. Just like Carolyn singing and Roland, primary. Um, left a good job in the city, working for the man every night and day. But I still didn't lose a minute of sleep and worried about the way things might have been. Big wheel keep on turning, oh, proud Mary keep on burning, rolling, rolling, we're rolling on YouTube, the river. And I can tell that he's enjoying it. I don't want to say it. Nobody else is here at the moment. He says you deserve to hear it. From one musician to another. And I'm going to say, is that what? No, I didn't. I was going to say, is that what you call a rapper? But no, I mean, I don't mean to diss any rappers out there. I don't hate rap. It's not my main genre, but I don't hate it. So basically, so I did that, okay, and I think I've only done that particular thing 3 times. In my 30s, all of them in my 30s have been a bit challenging at times. Why am I not even feeling the AC over here? Is that how is it there? Anywho, sorry. I almost got the dog in there, but well, thank you. Colton says I'm a fan. I'm a fan of you since getting. So just to kind of like, and I almost I hesitant to say it because nobody's here yet. I don't even know if it's indicated one person yet, and usually by now it would. I think. Um, what am I nothing to you? He says. No, I like your vibe. We're similar in some ways, but we're also not. Like, do you know how to take it? I think you do. I think I've seen it. Take it what in the I'm also gonna make a. Um, I'm trying. I'll put that there because that's. I could put it in the description too, but I think it's just as easy to see there, unless it gets kind of up higher in the chat. Um, higher in the sky. um, so, um, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. So, in mentioning that I took that thing, and I do remember this the last time I did too, and maybe it's only been twice, but I think it's been 3, maybe 4 times. And I should also state, um, that this is what you're looking at. Is my loved one here? No, I'm just looking at this little blurb in between the comments here, in between my 2 comments. Um, what blurb? I can't read it from here. He says, "I may have nice eyes, but I can't." um, okay, so um, I woke up fairly groggy, more than usual, because of a certain reason. And here is the thing: if we want to say whether it's okay or appropriate to promote the use of a certain thing or not, I feel like the other individual present has stated it first, but I agree that in moderation, like he says, share your experience, bro. Because you know what? Often, everybody's different, but often that would be, the type of experience people would have. So CBD gummies, okay? And it's out of my system mostly, I believe. But, and I didn't put any in there, and the person left. I mean, couldn't have had a better intro though, man. But, you know, again, for anybody that views this after, if the person says, okay, I came in at the 16 mark, I'm not sure what I'm feeling, I'm leaving. Hopefully they remember and come back. So I'm going to continue. Like I say, I do and don't see reasons why it matters to mention this, but I think it does for various reasons that I may or may not even be able to, or may or may not end up articulating. But, I felt a little bit of, and I sometimes with neuropathy and this, that, little bit of heaviness, slight tightness. I mean, not long after I took it, I went to bed. And I noticed when I was laying on my one side that my back was tighter. And I can use my computer, but I don't know. I just, but I think I don't know, prefer to lay on one side anyway. What do you want? Um, but I lay on the other side. Take that as you will, he says. And I mean, it could be, in various ways. Um, but so I met with my channeling ability, and if you're religious or I honestly think there's a lot of people, I know, but there's a lot of people that might not know what they believe or what to think about it. I know that there's a lot of religious people that feel they do, but there are a lot of religious people that accept it, sometimes fairly openly, for whatever reason, whether they've had experiences or they have, connected or seen somebody that's very real and genuine. Um, or they just thought about it and come to the conclusion that yes, they can coexist, and they can, I believe. Okay. Now, oh right. So um so um yeah, I would tell them not to rush, but we have something being dropped off at our place at a certain time, and they're not super easy to reach, so we're just gonna have to roll with that. um but you know what, there might be some benefit, even though I always say people can watch as much as they want or as much as they can. Somebody really want it. It kind of are required. Just kidding, but no, I think why not? And then if they have to watch the rest later. But you know what? If I do this in like 2 or 3 short ones, then I do this in 2 or 3 short ones. I've done 2 or 3 short ones, more than that. Oh my goodness gracious me! So anywho, um, again, this could have transpired whether I'd taken or not, and I am a very visual person, and I don't know, but um, so I was trying to fall asleep, and he did eventually leave. And and I figured people might ask, and maybe I was slightly curious. was he there all night? While when I got to sleep, about an hour later. But it wasn't that long, even though it wasn't mine. Um, and it sounds like one of my loved ones in heaven told him, okay, make your way there and for a visit, and he'll welcome you in. To channel. Um, and so I woke up, even though I'd slept fine, actually, feeling still some of the effects. And um, but this guy has energized me, and you tune in right at that moment. So let me explain. And there is a couple short comments in the corner. So last night I was introduced to a guy named COLTYN. And it's interesting when I was thinking about, okay, when I title this, for some reason I thought, how do I spell his name? And I went through the vowels, and and I was, like I said, kind of sleepy and on this thing. And I went through the vowels a couple times, I think, and he almost had me stop at one of them. But then a few minutes later, it settled on how it is in the title. It was only there for a few seconds, just a few minutes ago, a minute or two ago. Anyway, and I says, but I thought you just confirmed that it was with I think it was E. I was like, I was just kidding. So what I'm going to do is, I think, because I do have to probably wrap this up in about 15 minutes, but I could keep rolling, but I think I'm going to pace it that way, and I hope that actually he'll let me slow down a bit too. Um, not that I feel like I'm going fast. For me, I don't. I hope you can keep up as well. But and I was sure giddy this morning. Giddy in the city, but that was a little bit of an extended exaggeration. Anyway, and it's interesting because some of the things are coming up again. Um, um, One thing I will state is something that he said. I feel like he communicated it to my telepathy, and I do agree, and it makes a lot of sense, and it kind of goes back to we can't censor kids because they're smart, and they do know stuff, and it's a matter of, this is a legacy I could live if I had been a parent. I haven't, and it's not because of preferences or whatever, as far as like not into women or whatever. But anyway, um, I think we can just, try and not control their thinking. They're their own person. And I know I really didn't mean to, but since I started, I figured I might as well explain my feeling here on this. And I know I'm not the only one, and there's probably lots of parents that also agree. And it's basically just, like, I'm not around kids very often, and I don't know. I mean, you're out with your kids, or moments will come up, and you're naive to say otherwise. Where it's kind of like, I guess a lot of people would call them teaching moments. It's kind of like, when they do, if you feel like you should address them, like you feel like they couldn't figure it out themselves or whatever, how to look at something, and you know hopefully you do so in a good way, then yeah, do that. um Kind of like with this cannabis stuff, like, the worst that, I mean, not always, but if you're not, like, popping them, and you're doing like just one, and then you know not for a couple days or longer, I think most people, I mean, again, and I can't say when people are on meds or whatever too, this and that. I'm not. They might feel a little bit heavy, and they might, have certain experiences, which would be, you know hopefully pleasant. I think most likely. Um, so what I think I'm going to do, because I sense that he just wants to, like, kind of, earlier he said, I said, what, I wonder if I should, how much I should say about the other night there. before I knew him. And he said, I don't know, but we're living in today. You're living in today right now, are you? Aren't you? Kind of thing. And I sense like he's just wanting to be, a sense of company and hopefully connect to his loved one or loved ones in this. And so, yeah, it's kind of, like being in the moment, being in the day. But yeah, just up there. Maybe the better. So, doing that. Um, I mean, technically, it was just after midnight when I first kind of connected with him, and I probably let him communicate with my telepathy gift for about, so that's one thing. Your sense of time can kind of be like I don't do this stuff very often, but I found it. Like I say, I knew it would help me sleep because my experience is that they make me a bit groggy, um, and maybe I'm a bit of a lightweight. Anywho, so because the other person in the house says he rarely ever feels anything when he does it. Meanwhile, we'll take it if feels like a med is not doing enough for the epilepsy. Anywho, but it seems like it has been, so that's good. Anywho, so for about maybe 15, 25 minutes, and then, the dog's being so good. I hate that I have usually we'd say between 9 and 10, when we do this type of thing. But, but for some reason we said 8 and 9. Hello? Hello? Hi. Yep. Yes, they can be. Uh-huh. Probably because, I mean, otherwise they text or whatever. Okay, I will look, and I'm also waiting for a text update. I mean, you can see it tonight, but if you see it before then, that's fine. Um, okay, thanks for calling. We'll talk to you later. You just got there, so. Mhm. Oh, but because I was still feeling a little bit groggy, and because of um, Colton's energy, I did feel like, I'll make a little coffee. Somebody just tuned in. I don't, so, welcome. So, yeah, so anyway, I met this individual with my ability, and you left. And that's not why I left. I left because there's something I have to check. Okay. And it's not a lot. It's really not a lot. Oh, move it. And this seems to be leaking. So that's good. Isn't it? Yeah. Shut up. Move. Right. Yeah. They are freaking crazy. This one okay? So I do apologize. My intention, I couldn't not, with the way he was making his presence known this morning and what had already transpired, I couldn't not come and do this. But we just got some things delivered, and one of them was a case of water, which seems like one of them's leaking. So I kind of want to figure out which one. Maybe I don't know if it's more than one. That's the other thing. I was gonna say a little bit about what I found out, but maybe you already got a bit of a sense, and I'll come back and do. Already got do. Um, I'll come back and do more very shortly. So this is half hour in, so that's probably a good point anyway to do it. So.